Today's video is very special, not only because the subject is different from others, but because of the news that I bring to you. Here in the first link in the description and comments, you will see our recently launched exclusive channel store, the Stoicus store. Made with great care, I bring exclusive products from the Stoic philosophy, such as t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, and much more to come. Please, if you like the content on this channel and apply Stoic principles to your life, be sure to check out our store. For any questions and more details, join us in the Telegram group. There you will have closer contact with the channel. The link is also below. Now, without further ado, let's get to our video. Once there was a writer who specialized in creating thought-provoking essays on various subjects. Through hard work and seemingly endless creativity, she managed to publish numerous pieces that captivated her readers. However, one day she found herself in a creative slump, unable to find any inspiration for her next writing endeavor. She contemplated different topics, but none seemed to resonate. She scoured her bookshelves and searched the internet, but to no avail. A sense of panic crept in, as she feared she had exhausted her ideas or fallen victim to writer's block. Yet after taking a deep breath, she made the conscious choice to let it go for a while and divert her attention to other pursuits. Strangely enough, while strolling through a serene forest without any intention of conjuring up a subject or even thinking about her writing aspirations, an idea unexpectedly came to mind. And thus, she came to realize that when she ceased trying so hard, what she was looking for arose effortlessly. The writer experienced a curious paradox. She wanted to be productive, but the more she tried, the less she could. Only when she ceased caring and lifted the enormous pressure of needing to be productive off her shoulders was she able to write again. So, striving and effort do not always get us what we want. Moreover, these things can work against us. What's going on here? Author Aldous Huxley first described the law of reverse effect, stating, and I quote, "The harder we try with the conscious will to do something, the less we shall succeed." End quote. So, could it really be that when we stop consciously trying to succeed, we increase our chances of success? Will results come once we stop caring? This video explores the law of reverse effect, also known as the law of reversed effort. Don't miss the chance to master your emotions. Grab the self-knowledge ebook now. Click the link in the first pinned comment and unlock your true potential. Long ago in ancient China, a merchant met a sage who, he heard, was one of the wisest people alive. The merchant tried to impress the sage by telling him how much money he had made in his latest trade deal. The sage nodded but didn't seem too impressed. Then, he invited the sage to visit him to see his enormous house and all the riches he had accumulated over the years. But the sage still wasn't impressed. Instead, he asked the merchant why he wants to impress him so much by showing off his stuff. As the merchant didn't understand the question, the sage reminded him of the words of Lao Tzu, saying, "Those who try to outshine others dim their own light. Those who call themselves righteous can't know how wrong they are. Those who boast of their accomplishments diminish the things they have done." End quote. We have been taught that accomplishment requires effort. However, with many aspects of life, effort can also be counterproductive. As for the merchant, he sought the sage's approval, but the more he tried, the less he could impress him. The sage reminded us that the more we force our accomplishments upon others, the less we shine. Why must we continually remind others if we have accomplished so much? People grow suspicious of those who need to boast, brag, and take the spotlight as much as possible. What are they trying to prove? Are they compensating for something? It seems they need to convince the world of their value. Paradoxically, the more we feel the need to convince the world of our value, the less value we believe the world thinks we have, which is likely evident. If the merchant hadn't been so eager to impress, he could have let his accomplishments speak for themselves when the moment of their revelation arose. This would have impressed the sage more, not just because of the achievements themselves, but also because not needing to brag says something about the merchant's character, that he's humble and secure within himself. He's also detached, to some extent, from external objects like wealth and status. So the law of reverse effect struck again. He sabotaged his desired results by caring too much about the sage's opinion. Concerning our psychological well-being, the law of reverse effect also appears to be at work. We experience that by trying to control our mental states, we often obstruct ourselves. In his blog, The Runaway Mind, Professor David Clark shares how excessive effort can hinder us in overcoming emotional distress. He asks the reader if they have ever choked under pressure, for example, during a contest, exam, or job interview. He stated, "You may have spent a long time preparing for this moment. You reminded yourself repeatedly that you had to do your best. You could feel the intense pressure. All your attention and energy were channeled into your performance. With great effort and determination, you stepped forward, but then disaster struck. You blew it. You messed up and experienced one of the most shameful moments in your life." End quote. According to Clark, the mental control paradox also applies to overcoming emotional distress. Trying too hard to halt negative thinking, for instance, often backfires, amplifying our negativity. When we fall prey to the mental control paradox, we realize that the more we attempt to govern our thinking, the less successful we are in doing so. This aligns with the law of reverse effect. Clark cites scientific research demonstrating that humans aren't proficient in thought suppression compared to thought creation. But the law of reverse effect also appears to work the other way around, referring to the story at the beginning of this video. The flow of creativity and mental control often don't mix. Although people are adept at generating thoughts, compelling ourselves to conjure a creative solution, idea, or inspiration to advance our creative endeavors often doesn't work. The more we try, the less successful we are. The versatile artist and teacher Julia Cameron wrote in her book The Artist's Way, "All too often we try to push, pull, outline, and control our ideas instead of letting them grow organically. The creative process is a process of surrender, not control. Mystery is at the heart of creativity. That and surprise." End quote. We often experience our creativity flourishing when we're not seeking it. For instance, during a relaxing moment in the shower, during a forest walk, and just before bed. During those moments when we have ceased caring about it, the idea we were looking for emerges spontaneously. The ancient Taoists observed that when we're too preoccupied with the outcome, we're likely to sabotage our performance. The story in the Taoist scripture Zhuangzi about the nervous archer who shot perfectly during practice but couldn't perform during a tournament when competing for a prize illustrates how caring too much about the result works against us. When we care too much about the outcome, whatever we're doing, we feel tense. Even though we're usually perfectly capable of performing the task, a sense of urgency is involved. Our minds are preoccupied with the future and may even dwell in the past, contemplating, for example, past mistakes. So we can say that in these moments, in fact, we're not present in. We might believe that the more we worry about the task and its consequence, the more control we gain, and the more chance we have to succeed. But the opposite is true. The more we worry, the more we try to control, the more likely our performances will suffer. This is where the law of reverse effect becomes evident once again. The more we care about achieving success, the more it eludes us. When we care too much about the outcome, we are likely to push ourselves in ways that eventually impede our progress. The ancient Taoists understood how people could obstruct their own path when striving to achieve something. Instead of pushing hard, they advocated for Wu Wei, or effortless action. Athlete Christopher Berglund, in an article in Psychology Today, explains how the state of optimal performance, also known as the zone, paradoxically emerges when we don't strive for it. He states, "It may seem counterintuitive, but a non-striving mindset, also known as Wu Wei, increases an athlete's chances of getting in the zone, performing effortlessly, and winning. The paradox of Wu Wei is that striving less, not trying harder to win at all costs, often generates more success. When we delve into the mental state of effortless action, or being in the zone, we discover that this state of being, or state of doing for that matter, is characterized by a lack of discursive thoughts about the past and the future. Although Wu Wei likely leads to results, these results are not the primary focus. The desired outcomes may be in the back of our minds, but our attention is fully absorbed in the task at hand. The task even ceases to feel like a task. It's as if the pianist becomes the musical piece, the writer becomes the novel, and the soccer player becomes the game. When there's no worry about future achievements or ruminations about past failures, one's performance isn't disturbed by these thoughts. It seems that this absence enhances performance. Hence, we could say that once we stop caring, results come. The mental and physical obstacles we create for ourselves as a consequence of caring about the outcome disappear. They no longer obstruct pure and responsive action in the present, action that effortlessly interplays with present circumstances. For example, we must be responsive to our environment to drive a car. Everything that unfolds in the environment is unprecedented and unique to that specific moment. There are patterns and generalizations, of course, but when we examine the details, what's happening on a particular highway, the cars, the people in those cars, their actions and thoughts and their reactions, is a unique, unprecedented symphony that we cannot cognitively predict. We can only rely on our driving skills and ability to respond well to everything that unfolds. However, our minds tend to try to control the future by creating detailed predictions and then constantly rehearsing these fantasies and our responses to them. But when the moment we've prepared ourselves for arrives, we realize that our detailed blueprints have become pretty useless. Moreover, all these thoughts and mental preparations prevent us from responding to what's actually happening. However, if we release this firewall of thoughts, we create space to let the environment influence us. This allows us to respond to what actually happens rather than what we anticipate. Philosopher Dr. Wei-Lian Chong underlines the significance of openness in the context of Wu Wei. He states, "No matter if it's about politics, governance, diplomacy, or any other activity, what Zhuangzi calls Wu Wei is this ultimate receptive and responsive way of action, stemming from a crystal-clear openness within oneself, harmonizing with the breath of the cosmos." End quote. Whether we consider the mental control paradox or the Taoist concept of Wu Wei, these notions demonstrate how our thoughts can obstruct our path. The more we care about something, the more we tend to worry and ruminate, hindering our ability to act in ways that could lead to success. This aligns with the law of reverse effect. By releasing our concern about the outcome, we increase the likelihood of achieving the desired result. Results don't manifest merely by fixating on them or fiercely desiring them. They come through actions. Paradoxically, the more we become fixated on the desired results, the less likely we are to act in ways that contribute to achieving them. Caring too much about the results is akin to the archer in Zhuangzi's story Trembling, a soccer player missing a penalty, or a writer being unable to write. The concept of distancing yourself from individuals and situations aligns with Stoic principles. Stoicism, an ancient Greek philosophy, instructs us to maintain inner calm by addressing what is beyond our control and acting on what is within our control. In this Stoic spirit, the festivities gain a new perspective, challenging our serenity in the face of situations and people during Christmas and New Year. By adopting Stoic principles, we find balance in our attitudes and experience a more authentic festive period. Stoic principles, which teach how to face challenges calmly and have practical application at Christmas and New Year. When distancing ourselves from social pressures, focusing on sharing meaningful moments, we often need to let go of people and situations to embrace the essence of celebrations. Therefore, this video will explore Stoic teachings and their practical application in detaching from people and situations. The initial step involves temporarily separating yourself from the individual who causes us harm, emphasizing the importance of taking a break. Stoicism emphasizes the preservation of inner peace regardless of external circumstances. Start the process by temporarily distancing yourself, not to avoid that person, but to gain clarity and prevent emotions from negatively influencing decisions. In his letters to Lucilius, the Stoic philosopher Cicero emphasized the need to retreat into introspection. He advised taking refuge in your own mind, surrounding yourself with those who bring out the best in you, and embracing those who can uplift. This reciprocal process involves learning as we help others learn. Taking a brief pause to contemplate emotions and situations is suggested by Stoicism. The philosophy holds that we have control over our reactions, and that stepping away allows us to consciously choose how to respond. Find solitude to meditate, assessing the situation impartially, free from immediate emotional influence. Seneca's teachings align with this Stoic perspective, highlighting the importance of self-understanding in managing emotions. Stoicism proposes that emotions are transient, just like climate change. Stepping back allows the emotional storm to calm, facilitating clearer decision-making. This approach is not about running away from problems, but rather about pausing to find peace in the midst of chaos. When life becomes overwhelming, Stoicism suggests that emotions can cloud judgment. A brief break, like a walk or quiet time alone, helps clear your mind. In this calm state, decisions can be made based on logic rather than emotions. The goal is to find a quiet space for reflection, not as an escape, but to improve understanding. Consider whether it is necessary to maintain distance. The second step in abandoning individuals involves carefully evaluating whether it is a wise and ethical decision. Stoicism encourages actions based on logic and good character, the pursuit of eudaimonia, or flourishing through moral goodness. Although Stoics advocate oikeiosis, the natural inclination toward kindness and harmonious relationships, not every connection promotes moral growth. Stoic philosophers like Epictetus advise careful consideration of relationships. Stoicism asserts that disconnecting from toxic or harmful relationships is not a sign of weakness, but rather an indication of wisdom and good character. A former slave underscored this concept by emphasizing inner freedom regardless of external restrictions. Imagine that you are in the company of friends, and one of them begins to behave in a way that is not in line with your values. Stoicism suggests that just as you carefully select good friends, you should also consider whether continuing to spend time with that person is a wise decision. In simpler terms, it's the same as asking yourself whether being with this person contributes to your improvement and happiness or complicates your life. Stoic philosophers would see this as an assessment of the wisdom behind your choices. Stoicism advocates making choices that lead to self-improvement, provoking reflection on whether that person improves or complicates their life. The third step is friendship. Stoics believe that good friends act as rays of sunshine for our souls, promoting personal growth. Visualize a friend as a plant. Nurturing it leads to health and growth, while neglect results in the opposite. Likewise, evaluate whether the people around you are like vital water or harmful storms to your metaphorical plant. If someone's company is like enjoying the sun, great. Otherwise, Stoicism suggests considering some distance. It's important to emphasize that it's not about being tough or avoiding problems. It's about making choices that are healthy for your emotions and intellect. Stoicism aims to improve life, including the people we choose to associate with. In Stoicism, although it values self-control and personal strength, there is no endorsement of complete solitude. Recognizing our natural social inclination, Stoicism advocates seeking advice and support from trusted individuals. In the context of detachment, Stoicism suggests openly discussing your thoughts and concerns with someone you depend on, aligning with the idea of a philosophical friend, a person with whom you can share your deepest thoughts and concerns. Seneca, a renowned Stoic, emphasized the importance of friendship in leading a virtuous life, considering it crucial, along with common sense. He recommended consulting a friend as if they were a mirror, facilitating reflection and the exchange of thoughts and feelings. These conversations are not only therapeutic, but they also offer new perspectives and wisdom. Stoicism posits that openness to others strengthens relationships and communities, vital in the process of learning to let go. When dealing with challenging emotions or complex situations, Stoicism advises talking to a trusted person, imagining them as your wise playing partner, offering valuable advice. Stoicism asserts that we shouldn't handle everything alone, comparing support to the way superheroes have their sidekicks. According to Stoicism, having someone to trust with our thoughts and feelings is crucial, seeing sharing problems with a friend as a secret tool for overcoming life's obstacles. Choose someone you trust deeply, whether it's a friend, family member, or teacher, as your gaming ally in difficult times, and open up to them, recognizing that sharing with them is not a burden. However, easing your burden, such as a trusted gaming partner, can provide new perspectives or solutions. Stoicism suggests that facing life's challenges with a friend can significantly ease the burden. In Stoicism, there is an emphasis on placing limits on emotional reactions, with a strong focus on understanding and managing emotions rather than just suppressing them. Philosophy advises us to be aware of our emotions, maintaining control over them. The fourth step of detachment, according to Stoicism, involves setting limits on our emotions. This does not imply becoming indifferent or emotionless, but rather managing the intensity and duration of our emotional responses. Apatheia in Stoicism, often misinterpreted as complete emotional detachment, actually involves finding peace by controlling emotional reactions. Epictetus mentioned that we can restrain or moderate our emotional impulses. A Stoic approach involves negative visualization, contemplating potential challenges and losses to mentally prepare. By setting limits on our feelings, we can approach situations more calmly and prevent emotions from overpowering logic. Imagine your emotions as vibrating blocks, forming an imposing structure. Stoicism advises setting limits on how high this emotional tower can grow. Simply put, when facing adversity, it is acceptable to experience emotions, but it is prudent to ensure that they do not accumulate in destabilizing ways. Stoicism sees emotions as these blocks, pleasant and meaningful, but potentially destabilizing if stacked excessively. Stoic philosophers emphasize the importance of balance, similar to building an enclosing tower but not prone to collapse. Imagine your emotions as blocks of different colors that represent happiness, sadness, anger, and more. It's about recognizing and accepting emotions without allowing them to dominate everything. When facing challenges, you can allow yourself to experience these emotions, but also set a limit, similar to building a tower of manageable height. Imposing limits means maintaining control over the situation, similar to a builder deciding the height of the tower. The goal is to be comfortable with your emotions while preventing them from causing chaos. Stoicism teaches us that achieving this balance is like building a stable tower, ready to withstand the fluctuations of the emotional landscape. In the process of letting go, Stoicism suggests open communication with someone you trust, aligning with the concept of a philosophical friend, a person with whom you can share your deepest thoughts and concerns. Seneca emphasized the value of friendship in leading a virtuous life, considering it crucial along with common sense. He recommended consulting a friend as if they were a mirror to reflect and share thoughts and feelings. Such discussions are not only therapeutic, but also offer new perspectives and wisdom. Stoicism asserts that openness to others strengthens relationships and communities, crucial in the journey of learning to let go. Consider the potential results of creating distance from someone. In Stoic philosophy, the fifth step of detachment requires a careful assessment of where a person's detachment may lead. Stoicism defends a vision of the future, analyzing the long-term consequences of our actions. This is in line with the Stoic concept of prohairesis, emphasizing the importance of focusing on the present and being mindful of future impacts. Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor and a Stoic leader, stressed the importance of using our time wisely rather than wasting it. When thinking about distancing yourself from someone, consider whether it will contribute to your personal growth and emotional well-being, or whether it will potentially lead to avoidable losses. Stoicism encourages close examination of the pros and cons, applying logical and ethical principles to decision-making. Visualize yourself navigating a forest with multiple trails to choose from. In Stoicism, deciding to distance yourself from someone is the same as choosing a path through the forest. The philosophy encourages future thinking, similar to strategic planning in a game. Choosing to create distance is like selecting a trail, requiring contemplation of where it might lead. Stoic philosophers believe that anticipating outcomes helps you make better choices. Imagine the person you are thinking about distancing yourself from at the beginning of the forest, and you will be at a crossroads deciding whether to follow their path or take a different path. Ask yourself what could happen if you walk away from this person, just as you examine the various trails and consider their destinations. Stoicism teaches that planning ahead is like having a map in the forest, helping you make more informed choices. Before making a decision, weigh the potential outcomes, not to predict the future, but to be a thoughtful navigator on life's many paths. Take a break from social media. This is the 6th step in Stoic detachment. In today's world, social media significantly influences our emotional health. Stoicism, known for its enduring wisdom, provides guidance on how to manage our interaction with digital media and the overwhelming flow of information. Although Stoic philosophers like Seneca lived in a different time, they also struggled with external distractions that disturbed inner tranquility. Seneca wrote about the distractions that prevent a full life, emphasizing that we do not have a short life, but we waste a significant part of it. This Stoic perspective is especially relevant in the digital age, where the incessant flow of information and social comparisons can distract us from what really matters. The Stoic concept of apatheia, which seeks emotional calm, becomes crucial here. By distancing ourselves from social media, we create a moment of self-reflection and reduce the external noise that can lead to emotional distress. Following Seneca's advice, this step consists of focusing on what really matters, distancing ourselves from digital distractions. Consider social media like an intricate puzzle. Sometimes it can be as challenging as solving a puzzle with too many pieces. Stoicism recommends taking a break from this digital puzzle to rest your mind. Simply put, it's like letting go of the puzzle pieces for a brief period so you can return with a new perspective and renewed mental energy. Stoicism emphasizes that, like our bodies, our minds need breaks. Managing social media is similar to dealing with a constant stream of puzzle pieces, including updates, photos, and news, which can become overwhelming. Stoic philosophers propose that taking a break from this continuous digital input can help maintain mental clarity and focus. Think of social media as a puzzle you are putting together. When it becomes overwhelming, it's perfectly acceptable to take a break. This is comparable to temporarily putting aside your puzzles and engaging in alternative activities, such as going for a walk, reading a book, or simply relaxing without screens. Stoicism teaches that this pause ensures your brain isn't flooded with too many puzzle pieces. It's about managing your time online, similar to deciding when to solve a puzzle and when to walk away from it. It is important to emphasize that it is not a question of permanently abandoning social networks. Rather, it's about preventing it from becoming an overly complex and mentally draining puzzle. The goal is to maintain a balanced digital engagement that doesn't put a strain on your mental well-being. The 7th step, the last step in the letting go process described in the practical guide, involves prioritizing your own needs. This concept naturally aligns with Stoicism, which emphasizes self-sufficiency and inner strength. Epicurus, a philosopher associated with Stoicism and born into slavery, emphasized the importance of differentiating between what we can control and what we cannot. By focusing on your needs, you practice the Stoicism principle of focusing on what is within your reach. This 7th step of Stoicism advises us to focus on our essential needs, not in terms of material goods, but rather on emotional health and moral virtues. Reflect on the Stoic method of voluntary discomfort, where individuals purposely place themselves in challenging situations. In challenging situations, cultivating resilience involves focusing on fundamental needs that contribute to emotional stability and ethical character. The Stoic principle that virtue is the only true good emphasizes that genuine satisfaction arises from leading a morally virtuous life. Epicurus, known for his Stoic philosophies, articulated this concept well, teaching that happiness and freedom result from the recognition of a fundamental truth. There are aspects that are within our control and others that are outside of it. This understanding is crucial to aligning actions with moral excellence and achieving genuine contentment. By focusing on controllable factors, our thoughts, actions, and responses, we empower ourselves to navigate relationships and situations with Stoic wisdom. View life as a buffet that offers different options, some beneficial and others not so much. Stoicism suggests that, Like choosing items from a buffet, deciding what to include in your life requires focusing on what is truly needed. Just like selecting healthy snacks, Stoicism is about making prudent life choices. Stoic philosophers teach that genuine needs often differ from momentary desires, urging us to opt for what is beneficial in the long term rather than what may momentarily seem attractive. Imagine your life as a buffet with options like friendships, activities, and experiences. Instead of trying to have it all, Stoicism encourages choosing elements that truly enrich your life and contribute to long-term happiness. It's the same as deciding to select items that are good for your emotional and mental health. Stoicism guides us to focus on our genuine needs, ensuring that our buffet of life becomes more satisfying in the long run. When navigating the process of letting go of certain people and situations, Stoicism imparts valuable lessons and practical advice. This journey comprises several fundamental steps. Take temporary breaks, assess the logic behind distancing, engage in honest conversations, establish limits for our emotions, contemplate potential results, pause our involvement with external factors such as social media, and prioritize our basic needs. By following these steps, we align our actions with Stoic principles of virtue, allowing us to manage relationships and circumstances with wisdom and clarity. Stoicism, celebrated for its enduring wisdom, teaches us that detachment is not about emotional indifference, but rather about finding inner peace and resilience amid the complexities of human relationships and life's challenges. The principles of Stoicism serve as a guiding light, leading us to a life marked by virtue, wisdom, and emotional health. These teachings encourage finding contentment in the present, free from the burden of worrying about the future. As Seneca eloquently stated, true happiness is enjoying the present without anxiously depending on the future, to the next. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus, renowned and wise, once uttered, "The essence is to associate only with individuals who uplift you, whose presence brings forth your best." You've probably heard the expression, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with." Today we will explore this idea from a Stoic perspective. We'll address the 7 types of individuals that can hinder your progress in Stoic philosophy and how to deal with these challenging relationships. A brief pause to thank everyone for the 80,000 subscribers milestone. The results we've achieved with this channel in such a short time are unbelievable. Our first video was posted just 2 months ago, and today we are almost at 100,000. If possible, I aim to reach this milestone within this month, so if you're not yet subscribed, I kindly ask you to subscribe and hit the bell to not miss any videos. And once again, thank you all. I would like to briefly invite you to visit our exclusive channel store, the Stoica store. There you can find t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, backpacks, and much more. The entire store has a 20% opening discount, so take advantage. It's only for a short time. Follow us on Instagram and tag us using one of our products. It will be an honor to share this experience with you. If you have any questions or information, our team will answer you there. Now, without further ado, let's get to the video. First type of people, the complainer. We all know that friend, family member, or colleague who seems to find faults in everything, whether it's the weather, the job, or even the food at a popular restaurant. They never miss an opportunity to express their dissatisfaction. You might wonder, why should this concern me? I can simply ignore them. Well, that's easier said than done. Consistent exposure to such negativity has a draining effect on your mental well-being. It's akin to a dripping tap, slowly depleting your reservoir of emotional energy. Stoicism teaches us to focus on actionable solutions rather than dwelling on problems. For example, imagine you're collaborating on a project with someone who's a chronic complainer. Every meeting turns into an exhausting session of complaints, devoid of constructive dialogue. The impact on the team morale is negative. You're diverted from finding actionable solutions and are likely to become increasingly disillusioned with the project and possibly even life in general. So how does Stoicism help us deal with a complainer? There are several strategies you can employ. First, limit your exposure to this individual whenever possible. If that's not possible, perhaps because they are a family member or colleague, then your second option is to distance yourself mentally during their diatribes. Think of their complaints as a passing storm, loud and disturbing, but ultimately temporary and powerless against the unshakable mountain that is your own inner tranquility. Your third option is to steer the conversation towards solutions or change the subject to something more constructive. To quote Marcus Aurelius, "You have power over your mind, not external events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This timeless Stoic wisdom encourages us to diligently protect our mental peace, ensuring that the negativity of chronic complainers doesn't veer us off our Stoic path of resilience and virtue. Second type of person, the drama magnet. Imagine you are navigating through life like a ship sailing on calm waters, but then you encounter the whirlpool known as the drama magnet. This individual seems to have an endless series of crises, conflicts, or controversies, and like a whirlpool, they have the disturbing ability to pull you into their vortex of chaos. You might initially be drawn to the energy of drama magnets, mistaking it for passion or excitement. However, you will soon realize that being in their orbit is like navigating a ship through a storm, exhausting and perilous. Now, what makes dealing with drama magnets so complicated is that their crises often can feel like your own. Their chaos is contagious, and you might even find yourself embroiled in conflicts you had no initial involvement with. Let's provide a practical example. You have a friend who frequently quarrels with other people in your social circle. Today, they are not speaking to Maria or Joao. Your friend comes to you seeking advice, but you realize this cycle never ends, and suddenly you find yourself in disagreement with Maria or Joao too, because you tried to intervene. In this case, you can employ a strategy called reflective listening. Instead of offering advice or taking sides, mirror their words back to them. For example, if they say, "I can't believe Maria said that about me," you can respond, "So you're feeling betrayed by Maria's words." This technique allows you to provide emotional support without getting entangled in the drama. Another approach, one that might seem counterintuitive, is to become selectively unavailable. Stoicism reminds us to highly value our time, and sometimes that means being unavailable for other people's crises, especially if they are recurrent and unresolved. Turn off your phone during certain hours. Create periods of focus where you concentrate solely on your work or personal development, and make it clear that during these times, you do not wish to be disturbed. Paraphrasing Seneca, true happiness is enjoying the present without anxious dependence on the future. This can be especially useful when dealing with drama magnets. Instead of anxiously wondering what crisis will happen next, focus on the present moment, where you have control. Enjoy your life and don't let it be disrupted by someone else's drama. Make it a point to steer your ship calmly, avoiding whirlpools that threaten your journey towards personal growth and tranquility. Third type of person, the pessimist. Picture this. You are an artist painting a canvas. Each brushstroke adds color, depth, and life to your vision. And then comes the pessimist. They enter your studio, look at your work, and immediately start to criticize. "Are you sure about this color? It doesn't seem realistic. You know most artists don't succeed, right?" Their words, like strokes of gray paint, begin to dull your vibrant canvas. It's not the typical constructive criticism, which can be valuable. Instead, it's a persistent aura of doubt and negativity. For example, let's say you're excited to pursue a new career path. You've done your research, talked to professionals in the field, and maybe even taken some preliminary courses. When you share your enthusiasm with the pessimist, they quickly list all the reasons why it won't work out. The market is too competitive. Do you have the right skills? What if you fail? Quickly, their doubts start to feel like your own, and the confident vision you had begins to waver. Now, how to deal with a pessimist, especially when they might be someone close to you. An unconventional yet effective method is to ask for their advice rather than just sharing your plans or aspirations. When people are placed in an advisory role, they are less likely to attack your ideas directly and may offer more constructive feedback. Another method involves flipping the script through a technique called positive confrontation. Instead of absorbing their negativity, challenge them to think of solutions. If they say you'll never be able to switch careers at this stage, counter with an intriguing perspective. How do you think someone could successfully transition careers then? This not only deflects the negativity, but also encourages a more constructive form of conversation. Remember the words of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Listening doesn't mean absorbing negativity from everyone. It means discerning between valuable input and mere noise. When pessimists begin to obscure your canvas with their shades of doubt, take a step back, listen, reflect, and keep painting your own life with the colors that speak to you. Don't let anyone turn your vibrant masterpiece into a gray, lifeless landscape. Fourth type of person, the victim. Imagine life as a chess game, where each player has the same pieces and the same objective, to checkmate the opponent's king. You think strategically, make some sacrifices, and take some risks. However, the victim blames the board, the pieces, or even their opponent for every bad move they make. In their eyes, they are perpetually in checkmate, not because of their choices, but because of some external force working against them. Their narrative is an endless tale of misfortunes, with themselves in the role of the helpless protagonist. I can't progress in my job because my boss doesn't like me, or I can't get in shape because I have bad genetics. Now, it's crucial to note that some people face genuine difficulties and systemic issues. However, the victim we are discussing uses their situation as a permanent excuse, refusing to take any responsibility for their actions or lack thereof. You may find yourself entangled in their plot, perhaps as the secondary character who constantly needs to rescue them. Let's say you've spent countless hours listening to a friend blame their numerous failed relationships entirely on their ex-partners. This not only consumes your time, but can subtly encourage you to adopt a similar victim mentality in your own life. So, what's your move when dealing with a victim? It may be tempting to become their savior, offering endless advice and emotional support. However, the Stoics would advise caution against this. They would recommend establishing a firm boundary to protect your own mental state. You could employ a technique known as compassionate detachment. Show empathy and kindness, but don't try to rescue them from situations they need to face on their own. Offer a listening ear, but refrain from becoming their perpetual problem solver. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike the one who committed the injustice." If you find yourself drawn into the victim's narrative, resist the urge to become one yourself. Take control of your own board, make your moves, and remember that in the chess game of life, being perpetually in checkmate is often a choice, not a destiny. Move your pieces forward, make strategic sacrifices when necessary, and play not for revenge or pity, but for growth and wisdom. Fifth type of person, the toxic optimist. You know this person, always exuding sunshine, rainbows, and endless emojis. They are the ones who tell you to just be happy when you're going through a tough time, dismissing your feelings and experiences with a wave of bright optimism. Imagine your life as a garden. There are flowers, but there are also weeds and pests. However, the toxic optimist insists on ignoring anything but a blooming rose. Got aphids on your leaves? Just focus on the flowers. Don't let negativity into your garden, they would say. While it may seem uplifting, this approach can make you feel invalidated and disconnected from reality. Suppose you're going through a difficult breakup, feeling sad, confused, and seeking some emotional balance. The toxic optimist's advice is, there are plenty of fish in the sea, just smile and be happy. This excessive positivity neglects the complexities of human emotions and the realities of life's challenges. How do you cultivate your garden without letting the toxic optimist trample it with their indiscriminate insistence on only good vibes? One strategy is to engage them in a discussion that embraces both light and shadow. If they say, Look on the bright side, at least you have your health. You can respond, yes, I'm grateful for my health, but it's also okay for me to feel upset about this specific issue. Both can coexist. You can also employ what psychologists call emotional granularity, the ability to feel and differentiate a wide range of emotions, both positive and negative. When the toxic optimist urges you to just be happy, take a moment to acknowledge and label your nuanced feelings. I'm feeling a bit melancholic today because of X, and that's okay can be a liberating statement. To reference Stoic thinking, Seneca once said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence on the future." Note the balance, understanding our duties, which are not always pleasant, and enjoying the present. The Stoic approach is not about focusing solely on the positive or the negative. It's about embracing life's complexity with equanimity. So the next time the toxic optimist throws confetti on your carefully cultivated garden, take a step back. Remember that a garden needs both sun and rain to flourish. Embrace your full emotional spectrum and continue nurturing your garden with the richness and complexity it deserves. Sixth type of person, the manipulator. Imagine your life as a movie script. You are the main character and have an idea of how your story should unfold, where the plot twists are, who your allies and mentors are, and how your final act will be. Enter the manipulator, the dark producer who subtly rewrites your script without you noticing until the day you realize your plot has gone off track. The manipulator is skilled in the art of emotional or psychological maneuvers. They can use compliments, emotional manipulation, or even deception to steer you in a direction that benefits them. You may have a friend who always manages to make you pay for dinner, saying something like, "You know, I've been going through a tough month, and you are so successful that it wouldn't make much of a difference to you, but it would brighten my day." Over time, you realize that your generosity is being taken advantage of, but confronting them is uncomfortable because they've framed it as a favor to a needy friend. Dealing with a manipulator can be complicated. One method to neutralize their tactics is what some experts call fogging. This technique involves agreeing with any truths in the manipulator's statements, but refusing to be swayed by emotional coercion. If they say you are successful and should pay for dinner, you could respond, "You are right that I have been doing well, but let's split the bill as we usually do." Another approach is to set clear boundaries and enforce them. If the manipulator wants you to lend them money or commit to tasks you're not comfortable with, learn to say no assertively. Keep your tone calm and your words clear. "I can't lend you money, but I'm here to offer emotional support," sets a boundary while maintaining the friendship. Drawing inspiration from Stoic thinking, Epictetus warned us that we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. The manipulator thrives on your predictable reactions, manipulating your kindness, guilt, or desire for approval. By choosing to respond differently, you are taking back control of your script. So, if you encounter a manipulator in your life, remember that you are the one holding the pen. Your plot is yours to write, and while the cast may include a variety of characters, the journey of the protagonist, your journey, should always be guided by your own values and decisions. Claim your script and don't let anyone manipulate the narrative of your life. Seventh type of person, the time vampire. Imagine your daily routine as a carefully crafted symphony, where each instrument represents a task or commitment, and when played together, they create a harmonious balance. But then the time vampire joins, tuning out and drowning your melody, turning your beautiful composition into a dissonant noise. The time vampire is not necessarily malicious. In fact, they can seem quite benign. It might be a colleague who constantly interrupts you with trivial questions, turning your productive day into a series of fragmented moments. Or it could be a friend who invites you to numerous social events you have no interest in, making you feel obligated to attend and draining your time and energy. These interactions might seem inconsequential at the moment, but the cumulative effect can be deeply disruptive. So how do you protect your symphony from being ruined by a time vampire? An effective strategy is the Pomodoro technique, a time management method that involves breaking your work into intervals, traditionally 25 minutes long, separated by brief breaks. During these intervals, make it clear that you don't wish to be disturbed. This sets a boundary that protects your most productive moments from being wasted. If you find yourself dealing with a social time vampire, remember that saying no is not only acceptable, it's essential for your well-being. Instead of offering elaborate excuses, a simple, "Thank you for the invitation, but I can't make it," is sufficient. Declining an invitation is not a rejection of the person, it's an affirmation of your own needs and priorities. In the words of Seneca, a well-lived life is long enough. Stoicism teaches us that time is one of our most precious resources, one that must be allocated wisely. It's the canvas on which we paint the portrait of our lives, and we must be highly selective about who and what deserves a stroke of our brush. In the grand composition of your life, ensure that every note, every instrument, every melody is aligned with your higher purpose. Don't allow the cacophonous intrusion of a time vampire to throw your symphony into chaos. Hold the baton firmly and conduct your life with purpose, ensuring that each moment is a well-played note in your harmonious masterpiece. Embarking on a journey of self-discovery and self-assertion is a challenge that we all face at some point in our lives. In this context, a crucial aspect is learning to establish personal boundaries and understanding the power of saying no. Often we find ourselves stuck in the habit of prioritizing the needs and desires of others, often to the detriment of our own interests and well-being. This reflection seeks to explore the underlying dynamics of this behavior, highlighting the importance of recognizing and respecting our own limits. We will discuss how distancing ourselves from toxic situations or relationships is not only an act of self-preservation, but also a powerful expression of self-respect and autonomy. Throughout this text, we will delve into the various facets of this process, considering how the ability to say no and maintain a clear direction in life can transform our relationship with ourselves and others, leading to a more authentic and fulfilling existence. It is an intriguing and quite common phenomenon for many individuals to dedicate their time and effort to others, often beyond their own limits and needs. But what is the root of this behavior? It may be an internal quest for personal validation, a deep desire to be valued and accepted, or perhaps these individuals believe that their self-esteem is intrinsically linked to how they are perceived by others. This excessive concern with others' perceptions can become a trap. When we care too much about what others think, we risk losing our own identity, becoming a reflection of others' expectations and opinions, as if our existence depends on the approval of others. This can be exhausting, and in many cases, lead to a vicious cycle of relentless pursuit of recognition and approval. This journey in search of acceptance can be motivated by various reasons. Some may feel insecure about their own worth, depending on external validation to feel worthy. Others may have grown up in environments where love and attention were conditioned on meeting others' expectations, leading them to believe that this is the only way to be loved or respected. However, it is crucial to recognize that this constant quest for others' approval can be a lonely and unsatisfying path. It's like trying to fill an internal void with something that is always out of reach. The key to breaking this cycle may lie in developing a healthier relationship with oneself, learning to value one's own opinions and needs. By doing so, one can embark on a path of greater authenticity and personal satisfaction, where others' opinions are just a part of the whole and not the determining factor of happiness and self-esteem. Many of us at some point find ourselves dedicating time and energy to others. But why does this happen? Is it a quest for self-assertion or a deep desire to be appreciated? Excessive concern with others' opinions can turn us into true hostages of these judgments. If you frequently find yourself in this situation, I want to share a valuable strategy to reclaim your sovereignty and self-esteem. The strategy is simply known as distancing. It may seem somewhat abrupt, but in some circumstances, it is a necessary step to reaffirm your personal power. Throughout life, we encounter various people. Some do not respect boundaries. Others are overly dependent or even cruel and selfish. Showing these people that you are willing to distance yourself not only reinforces your independence, but also regains control over your own life. The power of distancing is strengthened by two fundamental pillars: the ability to say no and the presence of a clear direction in your life. If you tend to lose yourself in others' desires, or worse, feel used or abused, you likely struggle to refuse requests and lack a defined purpose. Having a clear goal shows the world that you value your time, and by extension your life, naturally distancing you from situations where your boundaries are disrespected. Focusing on your path reduces the need for external approval. Remember, distancing is not just a physical action, but a mindset of self-valuation and respect. Adopting this attitude sends a powerful message: you are in control of your life. Thank you for dedicating your time to this reflection. Distancing may seem like a stern attitude, but in certain moments, it becomes an essential action to assert your autonomy in a given situation. Throughout the journey of life, we cross paths with numerous people. Some of these interactions are fleeting, like leaves in the wind, while others root deeply in our hearts. Each encounter, whether brief or enduring, leaves its unique mark on our personal history. Deciding to distance oneself is not always easy. It often comes with a mix of emotions, a combination of relief with a touch of melancholy. However, it is important to remember that taking control of our own narrative is a sign of maturity and self-awareness. Knowing when to say goodbye, when to end a chapter, is a vital skill for building an authentic and satisfying life. In some cases, this choice may seem selfish to others. However, it is an act of self-preservation. By distancing ourselves from situations or people that no longer resonate with our values or aspirations, we make room for new opportunities and enriching experiences. This journey of personal discovery is a mosaic of encounters and farewells, each contributing a unique color to the larger canvas of our existence. These moments of departure, though sometimes painful, are crucial for our growth. They teach us about our limits, desires, and most importantly, about who we truly are. By sharing these reflections, I hope to awaken curiosity and interest in my audience, encouraging them to look at their own stories with a new perspective full of possibilities and learning. Among the various people who cross our paths, some present particular challenges in understanding and respecting personal boundaries. Some may be overly dependent, clinging to us and demanding a disproportionate amount of our time and energy. These interactions, though often well-intentioned, can become exhausting, creating an imbalance in the relationship. On the other hand, there are individuals we can classify as unpleasant and ill-intentioned. Unfortunately, these people view social interactions as an opportunity for manipulation and exploitation. They may act cruelly, using sarcasm, criticism, or abusive behavior to diminish others, aiming for their own benefit without consideration for others' well-being. These negative interactions, though challenging, offer valuable learning opportunities. They teach us the importance of establishing and maintaining healthy boundaries, identifying and dealing with such personalities. This is essential for our emotional health and personal development, teaching us to be assertive, to uphold our values, and not allow ourselves to be treated disrespectfully or harmed. By consciously choosing to distance ourselves from those who do not respect our boundaries, we send a powerful message, both to ourselves and to them. This attitude clearly demonstrates that we belong to no one, and that we have the power and autonomy to choose who is part of our lives. This act of distancing is not just an act of self-assertion, but also a significant step in regaining control. The power of distancing is indeed reinforced by two fundamental pillars: the assertiveness of saying no and the clarity of direction. Firstly, the word no is a powerful tool in the art of setting boundaries. It is simple, direct, and effective. By saying no, you communicate your needs, preferences, and limits clearly. This act of self-assertion is essential for maintaining healthy and respectful relationships. It is a declaration of independence, showing that you are in control of your choices and actions. No is more than a refusal. It is an act of self-respect and self-awareness. It allows you to reject unpleasant situations, commitments that overwhelm us, and behaviors that disrespect us. This word, when used assertively and respectfully, is a sign of internal strength and confidence. Secondly, direction is the element that guides us to where we want to go, both literally and metaphorically. Having direction means having goals, aspirations, and a sense of purpose in life. Knowing where we are going facilitates decision-making and choosing paths that align with our values and goals. Direction gives us focus, helping to avoid distractions and negative influences. Together, the assertiveness of saying no and the direction form a powerful combination. While saying no protects us from unwanted external influences, direction keeps us on the path to achieve our goals and dreams. These two concepts are crucial for maintaining personal integrity and following a path that is truly our own. If you often find yourself yielding to the whims of others, or in more severe cases being exploited, manipulated, or abused by others, it may indicate difficulty in asserting yourself with a clear direction in life. These are warning signs that deserve attention and reflection. The inability to say no often stems from a desire to please, avoid conflicts, or the belief that our needs and desires are less important than those of others. This behavior, although it may seem harmless at first, can lead to a cycle of self-denial and resentment, creating an environment conducive to being used or abused. On the other hand, the lack of direction may result from uncertainties, lack of self-awareness, or fear of pursuing our true interests. Without a clear direction, it is easy to be influenced by the will and goals of others, missing the opportunity to live a life that is truly our own. Recognizing these patterns in oneself is the first step toward change. It starts with strengthening self-esteem and self-awareness, understanding what we truly value and desire for our lives. From there, we can begin to practice assertiveness, learning to say no when necessary, and establishing and pursuing our own goals and aspirations. Indeed, the inability to say no and the lack of a clear direction in life can lead to a less firm and assertive stance. When we are not anchored in our own values and goals, we become more susceptible to the influence and interests of others. This lack of firmness can be perceived by others and, in some cases, exploited. When people notice this lack of direction in someone, they may feel encouraged to impose their own wills and goals on that person. This can happen subtly or more directly, but the result is the same. You may end up living a life that is more a reflection of others' expectations and desires than your own aspirations. It is important to emphasize that having a direction in life does not mean having an inflexible plan or an unalterable vision of the future. It means having a sense of purpose, knowing what is important to you, and making decisions that align with these values and goals. Direction provides a guide, an internal compass that helps navigate the complexities and challenges of life. The ability to say no, on the other hand, is an act of self-assertion. It is recognizing and honoring your own limits, needs, and desires. Saying no is not just a rejection of something unwanted, it is also an affirmation of yourself and what you value. When people perceive someone's lack of commitment to personal goals, they may begin to view that person's time as less valuable than their own. This perception can lead to a harmful dynamic where you are expected to prioritize the needs and desires of others above your own. Such a situation not only diminishes the importance of your time and efforts, but can also establish a pattern where your own goals are consistently sidelined. This dynamic can be subtle and often not driven by malicious intentions. However, it reinforces the idea that others' needs are more important, leading to a cycle of self-neglect. When you spend most of your time meeting the expectations of others, you may end up missing the opportunity to invest in yourself and your own goals. This situation underscores the importance of developing a sense of direction and purpose. Having clear personal goals helps establish healthy boundaries and make decisions that reflect your own priorities. This doesn't mean ignoring the needs of others, but finding a balance between helping others and taking care of yourself. Furthermore, learning to value your own time and efforts is crucial. This involves recognizing your own worth and the importance of your own goals and aspirations. By valuing yourself, you teach others to do the same. From the perspective of someone observing someone less committed to their own goals, the notion may arise that by dedicating time to meet their demands, you are somehow using your time effectively to serve their interests. This view is problematic, as it places the value of your time and efforts solely in the context of their utility to others, and not in relation to your own satisfaction and personal growth. This mindset can lead to the belief that your worth is intrinsically linked to your ability to be useful to others, rather than recognizing your inherent value as an individual. This approach not only minimizes the importance of your own aspirations and needs, but can also lead to a loss of self-esteem and dissatisfaction with life. It is essential to recognize that being useful to others is just one of the many valuable ways to use your time. The true value of your time also manifests when you are working toward your own goals, taking care of yourself, or simply doing things that bring joy and satisfaction. Devoting yourself intensely to a personal goal is a journey of significant self-appreciation. This dedication not only reflects a clear definition of priorities, but also resonates as an affirmation of the value of your time and life. This stance sends a strong signal both to yourself and those around you, indicating that every minute is precious and should be used thoughtfully and meaningfully. This choice to live with a clear purpose fundamentally changes how others perceive you. People begin to see someone who makes conscious choices about how to invest their time, someone who is not indiscriminately available to fulfill the whims of others. Instead of being perceived as a resource available to others, you are seen as an individual with your own desires, ambitions, and passions. Committing to your goals has several striking advantages. Firstly, there is a sense of authenticity and integrity. Your actions and choices begin to reflect your internal values and beliefs, providing a sense of true living. Secondly, this commitment fosters an increase in self-esteem and, consequently, the respect others have for you. When you demonstrate that you value your own time, you naturally teach others to do the same. Moreover, this attitude of commitment can serve as a source of inspiration for those around you. By observing your efforts and the resulting achievements, you become a positive example, encouraging others to pursue their own dreams and passions. There is also the crucial aspect of establishing healthy boundaries. By dedicating yourself to your goals, you learn to say no to demands that are not aligned with your priorities, maintaining a healthy balance between meeting the needs of others and your own. Additionally, keeping focus on your personal goals is an effective strategy to distance yourself from situations where your boundaries are disrespected or where you are subject to abuse. This ability to step away from harmful environments is crucial in various areas of life, be it in the workplace, marital relationships, or even friendships. In a professional context, for example, having a clear sense of direction can help you identify when a work situation is becoming toxic or harmful, whether due to colleagues who do not respect your boundaries or an excessive and imbalanced workload. Knowing when and how to step back can be vital for your mental health and career progression. Similarly, in personal relationships such as marriages or friendships, the ability to stay true to your own goals and values helps identify when these relationships are becoming unbalanced or harmful. Often, it is challenging to recognize and admit that a close relationship is doing more harm than good. However, by focusing on your own needs and goals, you become more skilled at recognizing when it is time to withdraw and seek more balanced and healthy environments and relationships. This ability to step away is not just a form of self-preservation, but also an act of self-respect. It involves recognizing your own value and understanding that you deserve to be in situations and relationships that are respectful and reciprocal. By incorporating these concepts into a narrative, the message conveyed is one of empowerment and self-defense. It encourages listeners to consider the importance of protecting themselves from harmful situations and to recognize the value of seeking environments that promote their well-being and personal growth. Being focused on your own path has the effect of significantly reducing excessive concern about the affairs and opinions of others. When you focus on yourself, the need for external approval diminishes significantly. You begin to understand that the only person you really need to prove something to is yourself. This kind of self-awareness and self-confidence is liberating and fundamental to building an authentic and fulfilled life. Stepping away from abusive people and destructive environments is a powerful way to protect your self-respect and integrity. This is not a sign of weakness, but of strength and self-awareness. By making this decision, you choose not to let your mental health and well-being be compromised by toxic situations or relationships. This attitude also sends a clear message to the world around you. You are in control of your life, deciding who and what deserves your time and energy. This does not mean you don't care about friends, family, or partners. On the contrary, it shows that while you love and value your relationships, you do not depend on them for your happiness or sense of self-worth. Establishing and maintaining healthy boundaries is a way to demonstrate that you respect yourself and expect the same respect from others. Adopting the stance of stepping back in negotiation situations sends a powerful message, especially in a business context. This attitude signals to others involved that you have other options and that, while interested, you do not rely entirely on that specific agreement to progress. This is a demonstration of confidence and an abundance mindset, which can be incredibly influential in negotiations. The abundance mindset is not necessarily based on having a lot of money, possessions, or a vast social circle. Instead, it is an internal perspective, a state of contentment and confidence in one's ability to achieve and create opportunities. Similarly, in personal relationships such as marriages or friendships, the ability to stay true to your own goals and values helps identify when these relationships are becoming unbalanced or harmful. Often, it is challenging to recognize and admit that a close relationship is doing more harm than good. However, by focusing on your own needs and goals, you become more skilled at recognizing when it is time to withdraw and seek more balanced and healthy environments and relationships. This ability to step away is not just a form of self-preservation, but also an act of self-respect. It involves recognizing your own value and understanding that you deserve to be in situations and relationships that are respectful and reciprocal. By incorporating these concepts into a narrative, the message conveyed is one of empowerment and self-defense. It encourages listeners to consider the importance of protecting themselves from harmful situations and to recognize the value of seeking environments that promote their well-being and personal growth. Being focused on your own path has the effect of significantly reducing excessive concern about the affairs and opinions of others. When you focus on yourself, the need for external approval diminishes significantly. You begin to understand that the only person you really need to prove something to is yourself. This kind of self-awareness and self-confidence is liberating and fundamental to building an authentic and fulfilled life. Stepping away from abusive people and destructive environments is a powerful way to protect your self-respect and integrity. This is not a sign of weakness, but of strength and self-awareness. By making this decision, you choose not to let your mental health and well-being be compromised by toxic situations or relationships. This attitude also sends a clear message to the world around you. You are in control of your life, deciding who and what deserves your time and energy. This does not mean you don't care about friends, family, or partners. On the contrary, it shows that while you love and value your relationships, you do not depend on them for your happiness or sense of self-worth. Establishing and maintaining healthy boundaries is a way to demonstrate that you respect yourself and expect the same respect from others. Adopting the stance of stepping back in negotiation situations sends a powerful message, especially in a business context. This attitude signals to others involved that you have other options and that, while interested, you do not rely entirely on that specific agreement to progress. This is a demonstration of confidence and an abundance mindset, which can be incredibly influential in negotiations. The abundance mindset is not necessarily based on having a lot of money, possessions, or a vast social circle. Instead, it is an internal perspective, a state of contentment and confidence in one's ability to achieve and create opportunities. When you operate from this perspective, you radiate a sense of self-confidence and self-sufficiency that can be very attractive and persuasive to others. This concept also applies to personal relationships. Loving and valuing the people in your life is natural and important, but it is crucial to understand that you do not need them for your own happiness or sense of worth. This understanding allows for the establishment of healthier and more balanced relationships, where there is no excessive dependence. In negotiations, the willingness to step away and take it seriously is often the stronger position. This is because it demonstrates that you are making a conscious choice, not acting out of desperation or need. By being prepared to leave the negotiating table if the conditions are unfavorable, you maintain control and integrity in the situation. This posture not only increases your chances of achieving a favorable outcome, but also ensures that regardless of the result, you remain in a position of power. You win by maintaining your standards and respecting your own limits. Now let's move on to the second part. Thank you for being with us so far. Don't forget to check your subscription to the channel and hit that like button to support us even more. It's crucial that you keep watching until the end, as the best part is yet to come. We continue. Have you ever stopped to think that by sharing your concerns, some people may use them against you? Unfortunately, there are individuals who not only take advantage of these situations, but also intensify them, deepening emotional wounds. Consider a specific scenario. Imagine that your business has failed, and you decide to share this concern. Some may pretend empathy, but in reality, they are just looking for an opportunity to negatively judge you, spreading rumors about your alleged lack of skill and irresponsibility. It's like when your partner betrays you. They may admit the mistake and apologize, but behind your back, your sadness becomes a subject of mockery. Revealing feelings such as sadness, hopelessness, or frustration can open the door for others to exploit and worsen your emotional state. Moreover, this dynamic exposes a concerning aspect of human relationships. In moments of vulnerability, instead of finding support and understanding, we face the possibility of being even more hurt. This leads us to question the extent to which we can truly trust and open our hearts. The fear of judgment or ridicule can lead us to emotional isolation, where we keep our pains and internal struggles to ourselves, fearing the judgment of others. This reality highlights the importance of choosing wisely whom we trust with our problems and challenges. Seeking a circle of people who offer genuine support and understanding is crucial for our emotional health. In a world often dominated by insensitivity, creating and maintaining bonds of trust and mutual support becomes an act of resistance and healing. Recognizing the strength that comes from sincere and constructive relationships, especially in times of adversity, is fundamental. Unfortunately, the behavior of these individuals seems to seek a sense of superiority over others, contributing to chaos. Today, this attitude can surpass mere malice, revealing deep psychological issues. Some people are so unbalanced that they find satisfaction in others' suffering. It is not surprising that nowadays, some ridicule those who admit to dealing with depression, especially if they are successful or celebrities. For some, having prosperity or a comfortable life is almost seen as a crime. If they discover that someone is facing difficulties, they rejoice in their misfortune. Therefore, it is essential to learn to protect yourself from these negative influences and remain resilient in the face of challenges. Furthermore, this phenomenon highlights the complexity of human behavior and the need for a more empathetic and understanding approach to mental health issues. Envy and delight in others' misfortune reflect a society that often values material success at the expense of emotional well-being. Cultivating resilience and seeking support in environments that promote mental health and personal growth is essential in times of quick and cruel judgments. Developing a sense of self-esteem and compassion for yourself and others, strengthening the ability to face adversities with dignity and balance, is vital. Adopting a cautious approach when sharing details about personal concerns, failures, or sorrows can be an effective strategy to preserve your emotional and mental well-being. In this journey of self-discovery, I encourage you to face your problems with independence and self-confidence, or seek advice from a professional when feeling overwhelmed. It is important to remember that, by sharing your problems, especially in environments where understanding and empathy are limited, you may inadvertently intensify the situation, attracting malicious gossip or mocking reactions that can worsen your emotional state. In moments of personal challenges or situations that negatively affect you, adopting a reserved and thoughtful approach can be beneficial. Trusting in your own ability to deal with these challenges without impulsively seeking external help is an important step in building strong emotional autonomy. This involves valuing your self-esteem and principles, staying calm and balanced when overcoming emotional challenges, and resolving practical problems. By being more selective about what you share, you may find that solutions to your problems become clearer and more accessible. This approach brings various benefits. In addition to protecting your privacy, it promotes a strong sense of self-sufficiency and self-confidence. Facing challenges individually develops resilience, a fundamental quality for overcoming future adversities. At the same time, it is crucial to recognize the importance of seeking help when necessary. This is not a sign of weakness, but an act of strength and wisdom. The assistance of a qualified professional can be crucial in times of great difficulty, offering support and guidance to navigate complex challenges. Finding a balance between maintaining privacy and seeking external support is crucial for healthy and sustainable personal development. Each challenge is unique and requires a personalized approach that respects your individual needs and limitations. This process of self-discovery and personal growth is a continuous path of learning and evolution. By adopting this posture, you're not only protecting your present, but also paving the way for a more resilient and self-sufficient future. Understanding the perception that everything is excessively difficult can be a reflection of not recognizing our own limitations. This is crucial for living a life full of opportunities and achievements. Acting with ownership and seeking constant evolution is essential, and the saying "fall 7 times, stand up 8" highlights the importance of persistence and resilience. With determination and dedication, each obstacle becomes progressively more manageable. Therefore, it is vital not to be overwhelmed by negative emotions or allow others to diminish your essence or motivation. Rise and act with the firmness of someone who is unshakable. By adopting this posture, you become less susceptible to those who delight in others' misfortune, and your difficulties begin to seem more surmountable. Facing negativity and staying focused on reality helps make solutions to problems clearer and more accessible. Consider, for example, a scenario in which you feel betrayed by someone you trusted wholeheartedly. You expected support, loyalty, and love, investing great hope in a project or relationship, fully believing in the promises of that person. However, when these expectations are shattered, overwhelming emotional pain arises, paralyzing you with disillusionment in the face of betrayal. Whether intentional or accidental, these moments of disappointment and betrayal, though extremely painful, also offer valuable opportunities for personal growth. The experienced pain can act as a catalyst for self-discovery and character strengthening. Learning to deal with disappointment enhances our resilience and teaches us to reassess our expectations and the nature of our relationships. This serves as a reminder of the need to maintain emotional balance and not rely solely on others for our happiness. Building a foundation of self-confidence and self-respect is vital to navigate successfully through the complexities of human relationships, overcoming adversities with dignity and strength. These challenging experiences, though difficult, are essential in the life journey of any individual. They teach the importance of maintaining faith in oneself, even in the face of disloyalty or disappointment. These moments also offer a chance to reflect on human nature, the impermanence of relationships, and the need for emotional self-sufficiency. Understanding the complexity of dealing with intense emotional pain resulting from betrayal or disappointment by someone you trusted is a unique challenge. Discovering that someone close has caused you harm, it is natural to experience feelings of deep sadness, disillusionment, and even despair. Although internally you may feel an overwhelming urge to express these emotions, perhaps by crying or the impulse to escape the situation, it is crucial to manage how and when you reveal these feelings, especially in public. In moments like these, even if you feel devastated, betrayed, and with your expectations shattered, it is essential to maintain composure in front of others. Allowing your pain and despair to be visible not only empowers others to influence your emotional state, but also provides the person who caused the pain with a sense of control or satisfaction in seeing the impact of their actions. Maintaining dignity in these circumstances does not mean denying or suppressing your emotions. On the contrary, it involves recognizing these feelings and choosing to express them appropriately in a safe environment, away from curious or judgmental eyes. This approach of remaining calm and controlled in the face of betrayal is a testament to strength and self-control, not weakness. By choosing not to allow others to disturb your emotional balance, you assert your power over your own life and feelings. This kind of self-mastery is a valuable skill that contributes significantly to the development of a strong and resilient character. Furthermore, learning to manage your emotions in adverse situations is an important tool for facing future challenges with more wisdom and balance. The ability to process and overcome emotional pain in a healthy and constructive way is an essential part of personal growth. This allows you to recover from traumatic experiences with greater strength, self-awareness, and maturity, preparing yourself to face future adversities with greater wisdom and balance. By embracing this journey of self-development, you equip yourself with the necessary tools to navigate life's complexities with grace and dignity. People who delight in others' anger and frustration often seek to induce the loss of emotional control in others, wishing to witness a dramatic display of emotions, such as a public breakdown or uncontrollable crying. They find pleasure in provoking exaggerated reactions, satisfied to see you respond impulsively to their provocations. However, facing betrayal or major disappointment does not define you as a loser. It is crucial not to allow these experiences to deeply affect you again. Moving beyond this point is essential. Confronting difficult moments without openly showing your suffering is important, but this does not imply that the pain is not real or intense. Pain is a natural human response to stress or trauma. However, it is possible to learn not to be imprisoned by this feeling. The first step is to seek a safe and comfortable environment, a personal refuge where you can process your emotions without the pressure of constantly reliving the disappointment. Although it may be tempting to adopt a posture of never trusting anyone again and avoiding all risks, this approach may not be the healthiest or most beneficial in the long run. By completely closing yourself off to the world and new experiences, you may inadvertently block opportunities for personal growth and the discovery of new joys. Instead, it is more productive to view the experience as a valuable lesson to strengthen your discernment and resilience. Transforming disillusionment, no matter how painful, into an opportunity for growth and self-discovery is a powerful way to regain your strength and personal agency. This process of turning disillusionment into growth requires a deep understanding of yourself and your emotions. It involves recognizing and accepting your feelings, committing to not letting them dominate or define your existence. It is a delicate balance between honoring your emotions and, simultaneously, maintaining an objective perspective on the situation. By embracing this journey, you develop not only greater emotional resilience, but also a deeper understanding of your needs, limits, and personal values. In the end, this journey of self-discovery and overcoming not only equips you to better deal with future challenges, but also leads you to greater authenticity and personal fulfillment. Learning not to trust blindly and protecting yourself with caution is a vital skill. Acting with wisdom and discernment, identifying falsehoods and illusions that others may try to impose, is essential. While it is not advisable to distrust everyone and avoid all risks, it is also important not to become someone who rejects new opportunities and experiences. Living permanently in your comfort zone, limiting yourself only to what is familiar, is not the ideal solution. Avoiding challenging situations will not solve the underlying problems. Pain may cause shame and regret, but if you can overcome these negative feelings, you will realize that suffering carries an important message about how to act to avoid such pain in the future. When you internalize this lesson, you will not be satisfied with just staying in a safe and familiar place, but will venture into unknown territories, facing new situations and experiences. The difference now is that you will be equipped with the knowledge not to be naive and avoid falling into traps. Even if you encounter more pain and face new challenges with each new attempt and journey, you will become a stronger, better, and wiser person, and most importantly, prouder of yourself. Remember that personal growth is in your hands. Stay determined, learn from your experiences, and move forward. This process of self-awareness and personal maturation is a continuous journey. Each experience, whether positive or negative, contributes to your growth. With each new challenge, you gain more strength and wisdom to face what comes next. Accepting life with its uncertainties and risks, learning to navigate with confidence and caution, is the key to a fulfilling and accomplished existence. Stay open to new experiences, but always with a critical and careful eye. Learn from the past and build a stronger and safer future.